Hello and welcome. I'm Courtney James. Today I have the pleasure of interviewing two key figures from 9 Mile Metals. So I'm here with Patrick Cruickshank, the CEO, and Gary Lohman, the VP of Exploration. Thanks so much for joining me this morning, you guys.
Good morning, Courtney.
Good morning.
Good morning. See the fire is going. You're both out in New Brunswick?
It's a cold one. It's like 15 degrees Fahrenheit today. So I don't think you'd want to join us here from Vancouver right now.
Keep you warm?
I'm doing my best. We sit closer to the fire than this.
Awesome. Well, it's great to see you guys now that we are in 2024. And I know this week you put out a news release announcing that you are progressing with the bulk sample at 9 Mile Brook. So I was just hoping that you could touch a little bit on what that means for the company.
Sure. It's from a corporate perspective. We have our exploration programs, and then we're having the bulk sample program that kind of has its own life and its own timeline. So it runs concurrently, the objectives with the company. So as you know, we were in a drill program that just stopped for Christmas and the holiday weather, and we're just back. We're all back in New Brunswick now, and right now we just press released our bulk sample final approval from the government. And Gary explained quite a bit on the press release, all the levels. It's not just filing a form. It has to be reviewed by all those different departments and get the sign off from everybody. And that's why I know sometimes investors think it's taking too long, but there is a very complicated and for good reason going through biology and conservation and archaeological and so on. So it's quite complicated, and we're very, very excited to finally have the 100% final received approval, because that launches my job in this process, which is getting all the vendors signed up and the cost analysis, the budget, the timing, and now we can actually put a timeline in place to execute this program.
Yeah.
So is that what next steps there are now, just to put that timeline in place and set the budget?
Yes, we'll get it. We got getting our quotes right now from our vendors of choice in New Brunswick. And obviously their timelines for when it's a miniature mining production, right? So there's excavation, blasting, crushing on site of the ore, trucking them with dump trucks, and so on. So it's quite the little mini, and that's why it takes so long. It's actually a mini production is what we're doing for 3,000 up to 3,000 tons.
Wow.
Obviously, once you break ground and so on, you're on site to manage it. They gave us a couple, which are very, very common. Our reclamation plan is only costing about $30,000, so they like a deposit for that, right? And get that back once it's claimed up. Once we're done the program, the excavation and the bulk sample and the reclamation, we have 30 days to do the cleanup. So they want it promptly done. So we gotta schedule all that, and we have to have the vendors and almost like a general contractor leading this. And so now we can work backwards from our goal, which is delivering the ore, and work backwards. So we couldn't really initiate anything to a certain extent until you hold that permit in your hand,
Right?
Because smelters and so they don't know when you're getting it, when you can deliver and all that. So really, until you have that, that's the catalyst to get the quotes, to get the timing of the vendors and the whole production organized and timetable.
And Gary, what's your schedule going to look like, balancing your time between this and the drill program?
Well, yeah, I'm going to be very busy. Once we start, say, like Patrick said, it's sort of mini mining. I'll be on site pretty much every day, supervising activities. We've got to set up, like the vendors, we've got to have it sort of cordoned off, so there's no access for anybody else except us. And because it is a sort of busy area in New Brunswick with like skidooing, and in summertime you're getting ATV people through, so you want to keep it nice and secure, especially blasting and truck traffic.
Yeah.
So it's going to be after the drill program, and depending on the timing here, going to be just really busy, just getting all this organized and coordinating with Patrick and all the vendors.
And in a perfect world, which I know it's never the case, but when would kind of be like a time frame that you predict beginning the blasting for this?
I'll take the first stab at that. We're meeting with our vendors now.
Okay.
And like Gary said, we'd like to do it prior to the summer.
Yeah.
Do it while it's frozen, obviously, and the bush is thinned out and so on. But again, in the winter, the smaller roads and the trails are actually monitored by the Snowmobile Association, keep them groomed.
Mhm.
And we have to now coordinate with them. We'd like to do it before the summer logging trucks come.
Yeah.
It gets quite busy and so on. So it is actually, there's never a perfect world, right? So
Yeah.
it's like, because of the winter here, you've got a lot of hills out there, and some days they're iced and you can't get in and until they groom them and so on. So it's going to take some. We got to get with our main vendor, which we're doing this weekend, to get his timeline and what he expects their company, how long it's going to take for the excavation. And because it is a vertical lens, it's pretty nicely contained versus, an open pit area. It's nice and vertical, so we can get in there and contain it and do this quickly and in a shorter time frame. So once we get that this weekend, we'll be giving more updates even next week and so on. And now that this is in motion and give this is what we've accomplished and all this kind of stuff, we will give it more of a timeline. But right now it'd be what we wish for until we know they can deliver, because it's quite the operation. Because you think a dump truck has, what is it, Gary? It's 100 tons.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
In a dump truck. So what's that? Or is it? It's maybe 10 tons. So it's hundreds of dump trucks runs. So and then are we storing it, or are we going straight to rail? Like, what are we doing? So those questions will be answered very quickly.
Right.
With now that we gave the permit copy to our vendor of choice, now he designs his operation and what that time frame and how long and so on. So we'll definitely give updates. I mean, I'd love it yesterday personally, but and I'm sure a lot of people would, but there's rules and regulations and obviously safety factors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, do you have anything to add to that, Gary?
No, I think where Patrick summed it up. And I mean, once it gets going, it's going to be just very busy for, numerous weeks trying to get this not only coordinated, just running smoothly. And the winter, even with everything, the road upgrades, so, everything frozen, it makes it a little easier. But then the flip side is we'll have to, just arrange things with the Snowmobile Association. But it's going to be a very, very busy time.
Well, that is awesome news.
Right?
He's a workhorse. I know.
He's very busy. Don't let him have any downtime, It's true. So they love it, like everybody, love being busy. So.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Well, I think this is a very wonderful way for us to start off 2024 with this permit in hand. I know a lot of people are really excited about that. So thank you so much for this update. And I am looking forward to hearing how it progresses in the coming weeks.
Yeah, we're very excited to be back in New Brunswick and our crew back today, and I think back to activity and news on a more regular basis. Everybody's had a nice break for Christmas, and everyone's dying to get back to work. So
yeah,
amazing. Well, we'll catch up with you guys shortly, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay warm.
Yeah, that's
Gary
do your best.
Gary's got a very special sleeping bag. It's like a cocoon. But anyway, it is quite cold. So thank you. We'll stay as warm as we can.
Yeah, if anyone wants to, people can send you little hints.
Just 2 to hold and 1 to drink. So,
Perfect. Perfect. Thanks, guys. Chat soon.
Thank you, Courtney.